Hey everybody, welcome back to Let's Talk. My name is John, and today here on the channel, we're going to be talking about one of the greatest comedies of all time, 2004's Anchorman, the legend of Ron Burgundy, and we're going to be talking about its brand new Paramount 4K Blu-ray that just came out. But before we get into that 4K Blu-ray review, I always like to give a quick film review, and that's what we're going to do right now. So if you want to know nothing about Anchorman, and you just want to check out the 4K Blu-ray review, you guys can skip ahead right now. So Anchorman was released in 2004, directed by Adam McKay. Adam McKay and Will Ferrell had a great working relationship back in the 2000s. They did this together. They did Old School together in 2003.
Restrictor played off, give the Red Dragon a little more juice. But let's keep that on the down low. It's not exactly street legal.
Will Ferrell, that was really his coming out party after Saturday Night Live was 2003. Old School and Elf in the very same year, and then the next year he does Anchorman. So Will Ferrell was on top of the comedy world in 2004, and Adam McKay was right there by his side. Adam McKay, to this point, has shifted more into like dramas. You know, obviously we saw The Big Short, Don't Look Up, and then a couple years ago he also did the HBO show Winning Time with John C. Reilly, which is a great show as well, which unfortunately kind of soured the relationship on Adam McKay and Will Ferrell, because Will Ferrell kind of took it personally that he wasn't cast in the John C. Reilly role. But Will Ferrell was always there working with Adam McKay, but this is their best team up that they ever did. 2004's Anchorman. And it's not just Will Ferrell in this movie that's funny. The entire Channel 4 news team that is around him, the rest of the cast, they are all great. But the news team, that's the people that really stand out. You get Paul Rudd, Steve Carell, David Kirshner, who I think I'm pronouncing his name wrong, but all four of them, they are great together. They just bounce off each other. You know, they let these guys riff on each other the entire time. You get Fred Willard in the boss role. Christina Applegate is so funny in this movie as well, and it's just so quotable. There's so many times where I'll just say, all right, guys, this is a big one. Or, guys, the network really wants to concentrate on diversity. And then he's like, Ron, and then everyone's like, oh, what's diversity? And Ron's like, I could be wrong, but diversity, I believe, is an old wooden ship from the Civil War era. Ron, I don't think the network is going to care about an old wooden ship from the Civil War era. And he's just like, all right, well, I tried and nobody else did. And, you know, just all the stuff of Christina Applegate coming into the newsroom. It's the 1970s, a satire of 1970s America and the entire, like, you know, Anchorman legend. You know, there's so many funny moments in this movie. And that's why when I first saw this movie in 2004, I didn't love it. I actually kind of thought it was a little bit too over the top and ridiculous. It took multiple watches and, you know, really getting into the one-liners that it finally came around. And now I believe that Anchorman is one of the greatest comedies of all time. I've probably seen this movie close to 100 times. Just quoting it all the time. I literally still quote this movie at work to this very day with people because everybody has seen Anchorman and gets all of the jokes. You know, I don't know how to tell you this, but I'm kind of a big deal. Or, you know what? If you like it, you can take it. If not, you can send it right back. Or, you know, when he says, go fuck yourself, San Diego. And he has no idea because if you put anything on the teleprompter, Ron Burgundy is going to read it. And Fred Willard's like, Ron, I have to fire you. And he's like, and I have to fire you. Bing, bang, boom. And then Garth comes in. Ron, why would you say that in your poop mouth? And he's like, Garth, I'm sorry. If I gave you some money out of my wallet, would that make things better? You know, it's all great. You know, it's Sex Panther. It's made from bits of real panthers, so you know that it's good.
They've done studies, you know. 60% of the time, it works. Every time.
That doesn't make sense. Or, you know, that escalated quickly. I could go on and on and on about the great one-liners in this movie. You know, this also got a sequel a few years ago. Actually, it's probably close to 10 years ago now. And I actually think Anchorman 2 gets a bad rep as a legacy sequel. And you know what? It really doesn't deserve that. I think Anchorman 2 is still a lot of fun. It's obviously going to pale in comparison to the original Anchorman, which is considered one of the greatest comedies of all time. But Anchorman 2 kind of still stands on its own. Yes, it's almost a rehash of the original, but everybody plays their characters so well. That's why Ron Burgundy still pops up and stuff to this very day. I think he was just on the Tom Brady roast not that long ago as Ron Burgundy. So people really do think Ron Burgundy is one of the funniest characters of all time. He pops up on ESPN, and I love that. I think that this is definitely Will Ferrell's best character. Will Ferrell's had some great characters. He's still pretty funny this very day, but anytime he slides right back into that Ron Burgundy role, I still think he nails it. But Paul Rudd's so funny in this movie as well. This is Steve Carell 1 year before, you know, The Office and the 40-year-old version. He's really funny as Brick Tamlin in this movie. I mean, I could just keep going on and just handing out compliments because I don't really find this movie to have that many flaws. It's one of those movies you can put on any single day of the week and you'll still be laughing at it despite the fact you've seen this movie over 100 times. You'll just have a blast. If you watch it with your significant other, more than likely she or he has seen it too, and you guys can just have have a great time kicking back, feeling those nostalgic waves from 20 years ago. I cannot believe that this movie is 20 years ago. Like I said, I saw this in theaters and I remember it pretty vividly, and I cannot believe this movie is 20 years old. We are getting old. This movie is still absolutely hysterical, though. Even if you don't check out this 4K Blu-ray that we're going to talk about right now, and you've never seen Anchorman, and I just spoiled the hell out of it, given the plot really isn't the most important part of this movie, although it does have a through line with, the rise and fall of Ron Burgundy, and then the redemption arc at the very end. All that stuff works well, but you're really there to just get those laughs, the big fight in the alley between all the news teams, and, singing Afternoon Delight.
And everything's a little clearer in the light of day.
Like, those are the moments that stick out to you. You might not be thinking about the rise of a female news anchor, although those scenes are also really funny. It's Anchorman, not Anchor Lady. You hear that? Bears. Now you've put the entire newsroom in jeopardy. I mean, and I will say she is one saucy lady. I absolutely love Anchorman, and I'm sure you do too if you're checking out this review. But let's dive into the 4K Blu-ray review right now.
He took him with his foot, and he kicked him. That's what he did. Someone punted.
So here it is, Anchorman, the 20th anniversary 4K Blu-ray. There's quite a history of Anchorman on DVD and Blu-ray, because this is a 4K Blu-ray that has everything that has been previously released, and there was a lot. Now, I actually had this version of Anchorman on Blu-ray. This isn't the Rich Mahogany edition, which I also believe was released on DVD. The Rich Mahogany edition will feature a lot more. It features a second disc, while this is only a one disc, and that one disc is the second disc in this Paramount 3-disc set. So let's go inside. You get this nice slipcover version with some new artwork on the front. Now, one thing that's a little bit misleading is they'll tell you that's the theatrical and the unrated version. That is true, but the 4K Blu-ray that's in here, so if you slide this off, you get different artwork underneath. Now it's in red instead of blue like it previously was with the Channel 4 news team. Still, I appreciate giving us a slipcover with different artwork from the artwork underneath. Little attention to detail. Of course, when you come inside, now this did come with a digital code. It is Paramount, so the 4K Blu-ray is in black. These two Blu-rays are in blue. These two Blu-rays, like I was saying, are previously released in the Rich Mahogany edition. This Blu-ray is the one that I have right over there in my one disc set. This would be that second disc that features Wake Up Ron Burgundy and all of the other extras that aren't included on this disc. This disc will have a bunch of deleted scenes and plenty of other extras. That also features an audio commentary track that you can listen to on here and on here. That you can listen to on here as well, that features most of the regular cast. But the 4K Blu-ray that's right over here, all you're going to be getting is the theatrical version. If you want to watch that unrated version, it's only on the second disc on Blu-ray, previously released. So if you're a fan of the unrated cut, which I am not, I think that the regular theatrical cut is still the best version of Anchorman. I think when you do those alternate jokes, which they shot so much footage, it makes a lot of sense. You can watch all those deleted scenes if you'd like as well. I appreciate that, but they did a great job editing this movie. There was no reason for there to be an unrated version with alternate jokes. It's fine, but I still prefer the theatrical cut, and thankfully that's the one that came to 4K Blu-ray. That also will feature the same DTS HD Master Audio 5.1. That's been following this film around for quite some time now. Paramount has been very lazy with updating the audio, so whatever the previously released audio is, whether it's Adobe True HD 5.1 like we've seen with a lot of their Paramount Presents releases, or in this case a DTS HD Master Audio 5.1, which I gotta admit did not really impress me. It's fine, everything is mixed pretty well, but I didn't feel like I was getting great use of my rear speakers with this one. It felt very front heavy. Yes, everything does come in crisp and clear, but it's still pretty disappointing that they couldn't update the audio, because yes, it is a comedy movie, and we've talked about movies coming to 4K Blu-ray in the comedy genre. Maybe it's not the most necessary upgrades out there because there's not a lot of action scenes. They're dialogue heavy. They're really there for the jokes, but this movie does look like a 1970s film in the best way that they could. It still feels like a 2004 film, kind of cosplaying as 1970s, even though they didn't nail the look of the costumes. It still kind of does feel like that, and maybe that movie didn't necessarily need to come to 4K Blu-ray, but I'm really glad it did, because it's definitely an upgrade in the visual department. But when you're talking about all of the extras between these two discs, this third disc gives you so much in the extras department. Besides Wake Up Ron Burgundy, you get them actually making the music video for Afternoon Delight, which is in the second disc, which is absolutely hysterical. It feels like it was made in the 1970s. That's perfect, but you get them recording it. You get a table reading, this, which doesn't feature the entire cast. You get Will Ferrell and David Kirshner there, but you don't have Paul Rudd there. You actually have somebody else filling in those roles, and one of those guys I've seen on Parks and Rec, and he's always floating around, but you get so much. PSA announcements, fake Sports Center auditions. You get their auditions, the entire cast auditions. They really gave you so much in the extras department. That's a 10 out of 10. The audio is really the biggest letdown because the visuals, yes, it is an upgrade. But again, when it comes to the comedy genre, it might not be the biggest upgrade because actually the Blu-ray version of this is pretty solid in the visual department. So we're really just upgrading that slightly. We kind of returned some of the film grain, which I really appreciate because it looks like it was cleaned up a little bit on the previously released Blu-ray, but now it's a little bit brighter. You know, the blacks are a little bit deeper. The colors are pop more off your screen, but they actually did that on the previously released Blu-ray, so I can't really say that this 4K Blu-ray is the biggest upgrade, especially since if you have that rich mahogany edition Blu-ray, the only thing you're really getting upgraded is those visuals. You're not going to get any new extras, which I don't know if they could even possibly add any more extras. It's just that well done in the extras department. The audio definitely needed an upgrade, and they didn't do that. At least it's still solid. It's not something that's going to really take you out of the movie. It's still the same audio that you've always heard. Crisp and clear, just nothing special. The visuals are the same way. They are really good, but it's just not a big enough jump from that Blu-ray to the 4K Blu-ray, and this is priced pretty fairly. But if you have that rich mahogany edition, there's probably not too much of a reason to upgrade at full price. You could probably wait till this one goes on sale, and it will go on sale at some point throughout this year, so maybe wait for that. But if you're like me and you just have that kind of bare bones Blu-ray edition, yes, it does have most of the extras, but you're missing out on that third disc in this set, and now you are getting an upgrade to 4K Blu-ray. Those people, I could definitely recommend grabbing this 4K Blu-ray at full price, as long as you like Anchorman. Now, one thing I've learned over the 20 years of Anchorman is not everybody loves Will Ferrell. My two favorite comedians of all time, as far as in film go, are Jim Carrey and Will Ferrell. And I have learned that not everybody loves Jim Carrey and Will Ferrell, and they're the biggest influences on probably my sense of humor. So it always hurts to hear that. But if you're one of those people who doesn't love Will Ferrell, there's no reason to pick up this on 4K Blu-ray because you're not going to like the movie if you haven't liked it before. You really got to get behind that almost stupid sense of humor that they have in this movie. I absolutely love it, but it might not be for everyone. So for you, you might not grab this 4K Blu-ray. But how would I rate this 4K Blu-ray at a score of 1 to 10? I would still give Anchorman, the legend of Ron Burgundy on 4K Blu-ray courtesy of Paramount, a pretty good 8 out of 10. I think it's definitely worth your time and money as long as you don't have that rich mahogany edition on Blu-ray, because then you might want to wait for a sale unless you love this movie so much and you just want to upgrade it, because this is the definitive edition of Anchorman. I cannot imagine us ever getting a better version of this, but it's going to come down to what you previously have and how you feel about Will Ferrell. Hey everyone, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video for this week's digital code giveaway. It's also our monthly members giveaway, so stick around a little bit longer for that as well, but we're going to start it off with the digital code giveaway. So this past Friday, I asked you guys 2 digital code giveaway questions. All you had to do was answer one of those questions in the comment section. As long as you did that, you came back to this video right here. I put your name on a magic wheel. I spun that wheel 2 times. The 2 names that landed on, they have their choice of the digital codes that you've seen on your screen before you today. And I asked you guys, what is a genre of film that you don't particularly enjoy that you would like to see more films from? And Westerns was the runaway winner, which makes a lot of sense. It actually took me a long time to get into Westerns. It wasn't until I was in my early 20s that I really started to appreciate and truly love Westerns. Now, musicals for me, I have never really come around on. There's always an exception to the rule, like movies like La La Land and Singing in the Rain. Those are classics that I absolutely enjoy. But for the most part, movies like West Side Story and Grease, you know, they don't really connect with me despite the fact that they're so well made. And we all have a genre like that. So I really appreciate everybody who answered those questions. And thank you guys all so much for entering this giveaway. So without further ado, let's spin this magic wheel and see who our lucky winners are. Alright, congratulations, LL Virus and Evil Dead 1996. You guys have both won in the past, so you know how this works. Reach out to me on my email address, letstalkentmt@gmail.com, and just let me know which of those digital codes you want. As long as the other winner didn't take it, that digital code is all yours. And you can always reach me at Instagram, Facebook, the artist formerly known as Twitter. And the same rules apply. As long as the other guy didn't take it, that digital code is all yours. And now let's do our monthly members giveaway. So if you're a friend of the channel, a producer like John Doe Juggalo, Jason Martin, and Mr. Smelly Potato, or even a director like Frank from Frank's Media and Reviews, your name is put on a magic wheel, and we spin this wheel, and the winner of this has their choice of one of the following 4K Blu-rays. It's time for the big showcase. We got The Lost Boys, a classic from the 1980s on 4K. The Italian Job from 2003. This 4K Blu-ray is from Paramount. Love this 4K Blu-ray, by the way. Thor Love and Thunder. I actually haven't seen the actual 4K Blu-ray inside of here, but the Steelbook is beautiful, and the movies, it's alright. Super 8, that's a really enjoyable film. The 4K Blu-ray is also great. And then Navy SEALs from Vinegar Syndrome. This is a great 4K Blu-ray itself, but I don't really love the film as much as I thought I would. You know, I'd seen it when I was younger, and I really enjoyed it then. And I guess I outgrew the movie in a way, because when I bought it, I didn't really love it. So whoever won this members giveaway, you have your choice of one of those 4K Blu-rays. So let's spin the magic wheel and see who the winner is. Alright, congratulations, John Doe Juggalo. Same rules apply. Reach out to me at my email address or one of the socials. Thank you so much, buddy. I really appreciate you entering into this and being a channel member. You know, John Doe Juggalo has been following me around for a very long time, and he has a great YouTube channel as well that you should definitely subscribe to. Same with Frank from Frank's Media and Reviews. And I want to thank all my channel members for helping to support this channel financially so we can keep going and keep growing. And I want to thank everybody who entered into any of these giveaways or just checks out our videos. All we hope is that you enjoyed it. Even if you got no money to throw our way, we just hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe throw it a like, maybe subscribe to the channel, share this video if you could. Get out in those streets and tell your friends about us. And then we'll be seeing you around.